What's up, everybody? It's your boy Toxeyboyo coming at you with a classic death battle reaction. Well, I guess I shouldn't say classic. If it's from within the last 10 years, maybe you don't consider it to be a classic. But this is an oldie, but controversially. This is Goku. This is Naruto versus Ichigo. I should start over. I really should start over. But I'm not gonna do that because we keep it real here on this channel. That's what we do. This is one that I remember the outcome. I do remember who wins this one, because I remember being upset about it at the time, and I remember the community continuing to be upset about it for a long time. So much so that people are kind of demanding a remake or a revisit, because a lot has changed. And since they did Ichigo a little bit better in his fight against Yusuke, there are people who want a redo of this battle to more accurately or more faithfully portray Ichigo's powers. I say that they should do that, but they should also wait a little bit, because the anime is about to end, right? So in case the ending is different than it was in the manga, we'll see if Ichigo has any extra abilities that we still don't know about. And there is a continuation of the manga coming out, I think late 2026, right? The Hell arc. So we'll see what adult Ichigo has in his kit that could affect the outcome of the battle. We have our adult Naruto as a father. We should wait until we have our adult Ichigo as a father and scale those two versions of the character against each other, rather than, you know, Karakura Town Ichigo and fourth grade Shinobi War Naruto, because that's not entirely fair. But on the end of the way, I mean, and this is, I mean, look at this. You know, this is the screw attack era, a long time. So we'll see how this one goes. We'll do what we always do and skip the preamble. By some old dude. I think a lot of times there's a clear bias at Screw Attack / at Death Battle, where they know right away who they want to win, and they don't necessarily do a whole lot to make it very fair. Now, do I think that Naruto beats Ichigo? I can't say right off the bat that in my heart of hearts, I truly believe he does. I don't know how powerful Hokage Naruto is, but I want to say that it's at least extremely close. I think Ichigo is faster. I know, crazy to say, considering that Naruto was like the fastest in his verse before the aliens show up. But I think Ichigo is faster, and I think he is stronger, at least physically. I think Naruto has more hacks. He might have greater attack potency, but I think Ichigo does have greater physical strength. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. And as far as like getting around the thing of Naruto being able to see Ichigo, he's got Sage Jutsu like in his kit permanently now, as a gift from Hagoromo. I think that should do more than enough for him being able to sense, at least sense, Ichigo's presence and his relative location. Where are we at? This is not Miyaboku? No, this is...
What's that?
Hey.
Is that a hollow?
Naruto, I sense a presence. Naruto, wake up.
So Ichigo's dressed like he's using Tensa Zangetsu right now, but he is not using Tensa Zangetsu right now. Okay. Okay. His outfit is part of his Bankai. So
You can't see me? Good.
it's like before the war.
Naruto, keep moving. I'll direct you.
Naruto, that's a Getsuga. If Naruto and Kurama in like speaking terms, then this should be after the war, right? That's a shadow clone, because of course it is. There we go. That's what I was saying. With Sage Jutsu, he should be able to at least sense him, maybe even see him. So he's in KCN 2 right now. Okay. It's just weird because he's using his proper Zanpakuto with the Hollow Mask, which I wouldn't say that he can't do because he does have the Horn of Salvation or whatever, but like after a certain point he doesn't use the mask anymore for a couple nuanced reasons, but mostly just because like he doesn't need to surrender control to White in order to win most battles, right? So that's kind of weird. Is Naruto gonna pop out his 6-point Sage mode or what? That affect him. Is it actually Johnny? If that's not Johnny, then whoever's doing that Ichigo voice is doing an incredible job.
Is that the best you can do?
He's not gonna pop Vesta Lorde, is he? What's happening now? He's gonna use Mugetsu. What? Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. What's I'm talking about, man? Like, why would he pop out the move that deletes his powers? Is this what he can even do again? I don't think he ever even talks about using Mugetsu again after getting his powers back. Why would he even? Can he even? Why would he even? I guess those are my two questions. For those of you who know Bleach a little bit better than I do, please help me out because I'm having a hard time right now. I mean, yeah, that's it.
Screw you, bastard!
I can't really say that I'm too.
Who was that guy?
So it's weird because he didn't seem to use 6-point Sage mode, or at least they didn't model it right if he was using it. Um, I also don't understand what he did at the end that would have saved him against Mugetsu. I guess you can say that Naruto making a chakra cloak does make him immune to things like Amaterasu, but I don't know if those two things are really comparable. Um, yeah, that's just weird. That's just a really weird way for them to portray Ichigo. Is this Chuck Norris and Segata Sanshiro?
Powers, Ichigo never gave up. What a badass.
Sorry, Bleach fans. I know you all really wanted to win, but unfortunately, this wasn't it.
Naruto had better training, a broader arsenal, and a better healing factor. And Ichigo's
Sure.
invisible ghost buddy didn't really matter.
Wait,
Unfortunately, this wasn't it.
Naruto had better training, a
better training? More training, sure. Naruto does have a 2.5 year long training arc that happened in the time skip. Ichigo has several smaller, shorter training arcs. I think he does have more training arcs than Naruto, because Naruto's got obviously the Sengon is like the first big one from part one. Really the only big one from part one. Then the the time skip, then chakra control to develop the Rasen Shuriken, then Sage mode, and then if you want to count him subduing the Nine Tails, then you could and you maybe should. Ichigo obviously has the like the 10-day training that he has with Urahara before they go to the Soul Society. He has to train to unlock his Bankai. He has to train to master the mask. He then has to train in the Dangai. He then trains with Execution, and then he trains to master his Trues on Pakuto. So yeah, I think he, unless I'm missing something from both of them, pretty sure he has more training arcs than Naruto. Naruto does have longer training arcs. I will give you that. He might have more training. I cannot say that he necessarily has better training, but whatever. And honestly, he does have a bigger arsenal. I'll give him that. This is also Ichigo we're talking about. Are we sure that probably through the battle he won't just learn that he's part ginger? I kid, obviously. But yeah, I think that's a weird statement to make when comparing these two characters. I'm gonna take a sip of my cherry Pepsi from Taco Bell.
Healing factor, and Ichigo's invisible ghost buddy didn't really matter.
Shinigami may be invisible, but they're still present in the physical realm and can be touched by normal people. Kurama can locate individuals by simply sensing their emotions, and Naruto's even seen his own soul before.
And with 6 power, he could see and fight Madara's limbo clones, even though they were on
Technically, he couldn't physically see Madara's clones, but he could sense their presence and movements to a degree which he could hold a fist fight with them. So I'm saying.
Also keep in mind that while chakra and reishi have fairly different uses, they both contain
Naruto's Senjutsu and Ichigo's Reishi are also comparable in that they access naturally occurring energy around them. Yeah, people like to say that because characters from other verses don't have spiritual pressure, that they would be crushed by Bleach character spiritual pressure. And like, yeah, maybe Konohamaru would, or like Udon. Like, I don't know, the ramen shop guy. I don't think that Naruto is going to die from being next to Ichigo just because he doesn't have spiritual pressure. Like the strongest guy on earth, like there's just no way that he can't stack up.
spiritual energy.
Let's talk speed.
Especially because Ichigo has been next to normal people in his own verse before and they haven't died. I think that sort of thing happens when you have like malicious intent or a general disregard for your surroundings and the people around you. That's what leads them to be crushed by spiritual pressure. I don't think it's literally a thing of like being no diffed so hard that you just die.
Naruto can dodge light speed attacks and can move faster than lightning. A lightning bolt's return stroke is 220 million miles per hour, about 1/3 the speed of light. Ichigo has also displayed lightning fast speeds, and even greater.
Near the end of the series, Ichigo took a trip that should have taken 7 days, but instead took 9 hours and 15 minutes.
It's likely Kirigi here was referencing his accomplice's speed, like Ichibei, who can knock his foes 2,440 miles away and
Ri is a Japanese unit of measurement. 1 Ri is about 2.4 miles, not to be confused with Chinese Li. I think is how you say that. Please don't rank me over the coals in the comments. I'm not trying to be racist. I see these things and I try to say them right. But obviously I'm open to being educated on that. So 1,000 Ri, which is obviously not how you would say it in Japanese. 1,000 Li is about 2,440 miles or 3,927 kilometers. Don't really know what that means and in reference to what's going on here, so let's take a step back. Snitty Su Tensho. Piercing palm of 1,000 Ri. Okay. That's why they were explaining that. Cool. I mean, Ichibei is like a top dog in the Bleach verse, right?
40 miles away and appear next to him in a second. Guy beat him by going twice as fast. So
yeah, as the commander of the Zero Division, Ichibei is likely the strongest Shinigami besides Ichigo. And honestly, when he enters a story, he is the strongest Shinigami. Like, Ichigo is not close yet. And you could even make a case that at the end of the story, he's still not stronger than Ichibei.
Use that as Ichibe's limit.
With that, we can get the trip's total distance and conclude Ichigo's top speed is 319 million miles per hour. That's massively hypersonic,
Because his friends' lives were at stake, Ichigo was traveling as fast as possible.
but not quite light speed.
Still, there's a difference between travel speed
So, like, travel speed and reaction speed are different things. Ichigo can react at light speed, as shown in this battle.
and reaction speed, as Naruto's already shown. Comparing them directly, Ichigo's best reaction should clock in at around 970 million miles per hour, 40% faster than light speed, and
Like I said, Ichigo is faster.
Naruto's reaction time. Alright, point for Ichigo.
Speed alone wasn't enough, though, especially since Naruto's sage powers gave him superb field awareness, making it
That's
difficult
fair.
for Ichigo to land a fatal blow.
Yeah,
That's also
but
fair.
he doesn't land something fatal at all.
Ichigo has always had a tough time damaging foes who have stronger spiritual energy than him. With that said, let's compare his Ryatsu to Naruto's chakra.
Bad news is, across both of them, the only multiplier we know for sure is Ichigo's times 10 Bankai. The times 10 is difficult to achieve, but for Ichigo's sake, let's assume he gets the maximum possible boost from every transformation.
His other forms likely don't boost his stats this much.
Yeah, we don't really know how much stronger the mask makes him. I would say maybe 2 to 3 times. If you look at his performance against Grimjow in their first fight, because he is able to cut off Grimjow's arm. So, at least 2 times, I would say.
For example, when he used his Hollow Mask to
Yeah.
barely overpower an Arankar, the situation and its results were similar to his then comparable Shinigami friends releasing their limiters, which gave each
Early fights with Renji imply Shikai is 5 times 2, as Ichigo Shikai matched Renji's limiter release.
of them a boost.
Yeah, but Ichigo's in Shikai all the time. That's his base level.
Apply the maximum times 10 increase.
Fullbringer dismissed as it is undoubtedly weaker than prior forms. Vesta Lorde dismissed as merged hollow attack. I saw that word. As merged hollow uses the same power. Fanagatsuga Tensho dismissed as it is an attack. That's fair. So Shikai, Bankai, I don't know, I guess full mask, but it doesn't look like full mask. Dangai, what do they call that? Fullbring Shikai, okay. Fullbring Bankai, True Shikai, merged hollow. That's fair. Yeah, so here he's like unified the hollow power. He doesn't need to use the mask anymore.
Forms that clearly increase his fighting potential, as well as stack them, even though many forms
Stacking later forms with previous ones despite having little prior connection also negates the limits Quincy Zangetsu placed on Ichigo for most of his Shinigami career.
were in separate, unconnected power sources.
For the sake of
Okay.
argument, we're
Fuck! You alluded that True Shikai equals Dangai, but that is debatable. Stacking them all together may overcompensate, but it assures nothing is left out. I also don't really know what it was about his training in the Dangai that made him so much more powerful. Is it just that like he and his Zanpakuto became connected on a level that they hadn't been before? Because he only trained in there 2 months, and it made him like exponentially more powerful. For a time, he did start to go back to normal after a while.
Ichigo's power. You'll see what.
So here's our formula. But where do we start? Okay, Bankai Ichigo with his Hollow
Okay.
Mask was on par with Ukiyora's first transformation, correct?
Well, nearly.
Not really.
Ukiyora states his new form can destroy the city of Las Noches in the hollow world of Mundo.
Specifically, Ukiora notes that the act of transforming will destroy because the form's boosted Ryatsu. So it's a passive effect that happen as he transforms.
Like Mexican hell?
Well, there is
Yeah.
a mall.
Ha-ha!
Las Noches is square in shape and takes 3 days to walk from one corner to a gate in the center of the wall. So it has a total area of 200,000 square miles.
That's bigger than California, and destroying it in one go needs over 400,000 megatons of TNT.
So, plug that into the formula, and there you have it. Ichigo's Reiatsu is equal to over 440 billion megatons of TNT.
Thankfully, Naruto's chakra level is much easier to figure out.
His chakra was once extracted and burst a hole through the hollow moon. He survived the explosion, and it was explicitly said that this was nearly all of his chakra.
Most of his chakra has been siphoned off.
By measuring the aftermath from both sides, we found the blast to equal at least 480 billion megatons of TNT. 40 billion more than Ichigo.
And don't
Okay.
forget, we were deliberately overestimating him.
Also,
That's
this
fair.
was base form Naruto, not including any increases from additional modes, which allowed him to block an attack that cut the moon in half. A force that had to be over 27 trillion.
Assuming similar dimensions to the real moon, the energy needed to split a hollow version is 115 octillion joules. How do you even find that out?
Megatons. This
Scaling generously Mugetsu at most would be no more than 800 teratons or 800 million megatons.
and survive a blast stronger than Ichigo is capable of.
If you're thinking, wait, Boomstick, Ichigo survived a black hole in a box. That move doesn't really work like a black.
Even at 1/3 of its power, Hado number 90's essential effect shouldn't change.
Plus, the 814 kiloton Frager blast.
Notice his uniform to the blast. When Ichigo loses power, his clothes are torn off. No, this isn't quoting a porn parody. Like I said, his clothes are part of the Bankai, so it reflects how much energy he has left.
Did hurt him immediately after, so it must have been weaker than that.
But Wiz, weren't Kaguya and Waka Waka planet busters? Don't they scale to him?
Nope. Kaguya's planet-busting attack required chakra from nearly the entire Earth's population, not just her own. And while Yuok's power was pretty OP, he couldn't destroy the world through his own destructive capability. He only planned to manipulate the delicate balance between life and death by stopping the flow of souls. Like a plate spinning on a stick, if one side
While
gets
the Kaguya and Yuha victories were complicated, Naruto and Ichigo did not need to be capable of planet busting. That's kind of semantics. I don't really care too much when it gets into like, oh, this character's a planet buster or a moon buster or a star buster. I'm never gonna give a fuck about anything like that. At the end of the day, it's never gonna matter.
heavy, the whole
You're never gonna see these characters destroy a planet. You're never gonna see Goku, Naruto, Ichigo, Luffy, Deku, any of these characters actually destroy a planet because they live on Earth, so why would they blow it up?
thing comes crashing down.
To sum it up, Ichigo had the speed, they both had the guts, and Naruto had the strength, durability, training, and abilities for days. Naruto sure got the shonen jump on Ichigo.
The winner is Naruto Uzumaki.
Yeah, so a longer one for me. As you can tell, I'm a big Bleach fan, right? But I'm also a big Naruto fan. Like for most of my life, those have been my top two anime, and they kind of alternate. I have not necessarily fallen out of love with Bleach the way that I did with Naruto towards the end there, so maybe I do prefer Bleach a little bit. I'm not even necessarily upset about Naruto winning. I just think that they lowball Ichigo really badly here. I know that they said they were being generous with his scaling, but I really don't think that they were. So how they did Goku versus Superman the very first time, I think they super lowballed Goku, and like they've tried to compensate for it since then, but it kind of just leaves a bad taste in your mouth when you know, excuse me, that you know that they will like that they will downplay a character so heavily just to have them lose the battle. Naruto's more popular than Bleach. I think that they were trying to avoid upsetting people by having Ichigo win, so they made it to where Naruto wins. It's whatever. What do you guys think? Something that needs to be revisited? Should they, do a rematch now that we have more information on both characters, or should they just leave it the way that it is? What do you think of the outcome? Whatever it is, whatever you think, please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you later.